Welcome back to another episode of Dice City Picks. I'm your host, Tony Parlay, and today we'll be breaking down the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. We've got the Memphis Tigers playing against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Now, this is a tale of two teams who've had completely different seasons. West Virginia fell short earlier in the year, which caused them to go ahead and fire their head coach Neil Brown, while on the other side, Ryan Silverfield for the Memphis Tigers led them to double-digit wins. Unlike many teams that are going to be dealing with the transfer portal and opt-outs coming into this bowl season, Memphis is set to go ahead and have their full roster. I'm not too sure with West Virginia. There's still some questions on who's going to be there and who's not. But for Memphis, what do we know? A four-year starter, Seth Hennigan at quarterback, will go ahead and take the lead for the Tigers. He's been very good for his career. He sets the stage for a strong offensive performance. He did have the 10 wins this year. And on the other side of the ball, you have West Virginia, who has a lot of defensive deficiencies. They've got some weaknesses. Their secondary is one of the worst secondaries in college football. I'm expecting Rock Taylor for Memphis to go ahead and have a big game. He is a field stretcher. He is their number one receiver. Here we go. The names for the West Virginia corner starters, Aiden Garnes and Aubrey Banks, are going to be out of this game. So it's a wounded secondary. It gets even worse with missing those players. It's going to be real tough for them to go ahead and match up with that Memphis team. Odds makers have rightfully favored Memphis. That makes sense. They're 5-point favorites, as you can see there, with a total of 60 points. Does feel a little bit high, but knowing what we know about West Virginia's defense being such a weak spot, I mean, they allowed 400 yards a game. That secondary was struggling. They weren't really able to put any pressure on the passer. It looks like 5 sacks. That's really bad. And not too many, 2 interceptions. That's just a struggling secondary. Really bad. Memphis has shown that consistency. I mean, they're not a world beater. They did go ahead and have some struggles against the ground. If you want to go ahead and have success against Memphis, you got to be able to run the ball. So for West Virginia to have any chance in this one, they're going to have to establish a dominant ground game. I think that maybe West Virginia is going to go ahead and put on a good showing. They're going to bring Rich Rodriguez back, but he's not coaching in this one. I really think Memphis is going to go ahead and take care of business in this game. The 5-point spread is kind of weird, though, so I'm going to target the total instead. We've got a total of 60.5 points. I think this is set for a shootout. I don't see either team stopping the other, if I'm being honest. Over 60.5 points at minus 110 odds at BetMGM is going to be your best bet in this one. Let's go ahead and click on the banner. Let's go ahead and make some money and make it a profitable night.